Thank you. I'm Sabrina Runbeck. Let me take you into my story. About 4.5 years ago, I was standing there in front of a patient with my hands inside of his open chest. I was fully gowned, gloved, attempting with all that I had to get through this open heart surgery while having a fever of 101 degrees. My head was buzzing and my body felt so weak that everything seemed to be moving super slowly. Zzz, zzz. That beeper was paging me all night, just went off again, which made my exhaustion that much harder to hide. One of my nurses took pity on me and passed Dayquil and cough drop under my mask to keep me going. I was so grateful for her kindness. Unfortunately, when I woke up the next morning, I could barely get out of bed. So I called my manager. Hey, Mike, so sorry. Fever's not going away. I can't come in. And he responded, how come you're just telling me this now? Don't make a habit out of this. Imagine how frustrated I felt at the moment, especially in medicine. We pride ourselves and value practice with excellence, treat our patient well, and advocate for them. But I was treated like a human machine without a care for my well-being. I believe that we all work so hard to get to where we are right now. We didn't do it to simply hate every minute of it or give up and jump ship to something completely new. Well, what I realized it was that I say yes to almost everything. However, when we say yes to the things that do not align with your core values, then you might become resentful, unable to deliver those quality results or keep our promises with our family, friends, or work. I believe that many young, ambitious professionals like me are sharing similar struggles. And that's why I realized I have something I need to fix. Because life is short, yeah? People with me? So went back to my root in neuroscience and public health. I created a simple system called say no to stress and say yes to stamina. Now I turn my life around and work full-time in surgery, loving it, as well as helping other young professionals with demanding careers for them to wake up excited while rising up as leaders in their fields. So if you feel stressed out, overwhelmed, it's okay. We have ways to get through this. So you're ready? Okay, I'm gonna share my screen with you and let's rock and roll. Okay, sorry. Are we going? Yes. Okay, so number one of our 3 simple steps is to say no to vagueness. So you can dream big and achieve more. Unfortunately, people cannot read our minds. When you have a clear purpose and share well with others, then they can support us to get to those end goals. So think back when we were a child, right? The most common question we were asked was, what do you want to do when you get up, wake up, grow up? But that's such an unfair question, isn't it? Because when we are growing up, we haven't truly experienced anything at all. So our entire world is constricted from our parents, the society, our teacher, our friends, and anybody else that's just in those areas. But what we truly need to ask ourselves is, what type of lifestyle would you like to have when you grow up? When we driven ourselves by an end goal, then we can create that internal compass driven by purpose and clarity. And then to push us into the right pathway. Because guess what? You can pick multiple ways to get to a destination. But if you have clarity, you wouldn't be needing to go down 10 different routes and keep derailing yourself. And one of the questions my client always asks, Sabrina, what do I do then? I have too many interests. Well, good for you. That novelty make life go further, right? Keep things interesting. But I always suggest just write a 1-sentence purpose statement before you dive into any new project. So when you're super clear Despite the time being tough, like right now, where we're in the situation of you frustrated by not able to make this deep connection as you would in the social environment outside, and then you're here feeling alone, then it's more important for us to communicate clearly because people do get nervous. And if you couldn't express yourself well, and there are vagueness in your messaging, then they will start to lose faith and respect in us. All right, so our number 2 step is to say no to negative thoughts so you can reclaim your mental power. Despite of any mission that you have in life, life is unpredictable. You're gonna have roadblocks. So how do you feel right now? Let me just start here. Do you feel amazing, wonderful, brilliant? Do you feel that way all the time? Well, let me clarify something with you. I feel amazing pretty much all the time. Before you're thinking I'm like little self-conceived, what is this person doing? I want to tell you, I think you're amazing all the time as well. Guess how I knew that? Because when we're born joyful, we're born pure, we're born to be laughing and eating, to go back to our root of natural instinct. It's that as we grow up, constrictions of knowing you have to do XYZ to get to the next level, instead of understanding and appreciating the journey, giving gratitude and empathy to ourselves. And that's how we're being held back. So one of the story I want to share with you was I remember in high school. I went to a really big high school in New Jersey. And I sat down in my calculus class. My seat is not even warm yet. And my teacher started passing out the quiz that we just took last week. I remember my heart started racing and my hand was sweating. Oh my goodness. Because I knew when I took the test, I didn't feel so good about it. And now I start doubting myself, like, what could it be? Oh my gosh, this is going to destroy my GPA going to college, right? And when I saw that number inside the big red circle, I would just start bawling. I'm not a pretty crier, just to say that. And guess what the number was? Well, it was 82. For some of you, you might think, well, it's not really that bad besides it's only one quiz and one test, big deal. But for me, at the moment, it was a big deal. Because when you push yourself so high up as all the hyperachievers out there, we're tying our identity to the next achievement instead of enjoying the process of getting there. Guess what? Even you couldn't do all 10 things off your to-do list, you got 7 done, you should still be proud of that 17% of the work. And then we can regroup and reorganize ourselves to do more. So Dr. David Schultz, in his book, A Magic Thinking Big, described there's the positivity and the negativity. And the power of I'm positive I can generate the skill and energy to overcome these mental barriers. And how I learned it is, how do you build more positive intelligence into your life was one of my coach in Stanford on research literature. Why is that? Because for every one negative thought, it requires 3 positive ones to overcome that. So are you in control of your own mind to allow yourself to grow and live vivaciously in the positive round of things, or allow the primitive brain just to scan all the negativities in your life? So what I say is you always have the inner sabotagers, right? Me is a bunny because I was born in a year a bunny. And versus my sage, my positive mind, the strong leopard. What are those for you? And some of the sabotager I have was the hyper vigilant and rational person, controlling, judging myself. And don't we all have part of that? Actually, judgment is 1 out of 10 of sabotagers that we all share. It's number one crucial thing that holding us back. Versus the leopard part, right? The strong part of the inner animal in us, for me, is courageous, able to have fun, vivacious, and then be confident. And if I can live always rebuilding myself into this bigger part of me, how powerful can you be? So, what are these positive messages that you have about yourself? And now, then some people say, how do you build this positive intelligence? Well, through little activities. Something very simple I would suggest is to have a daily inner strength finder. And every morning, say one positive thing about yourself out loud in front of a mirror. And say that out loud because you want to truly embody the message and believe in yourself for it. All right, so our third step is say no to putting self-care last. Taking care of yourself first will allow you to give the best of you, not what's left of you. And you know what? Many people would say, I take care of myself. I take bubble bath. I have lunch with my friends. I go to the gym sometimes and I travel. But guess what? Are you doing those things every day? Do you truly feel fulfilled, energized through that one event that will last you all day long and never have afternoon slumps? Let me show you how. Think this way. How often in a typical day do you have these random thoughts come to your mind? It's not really serving you at the present time. 30, 40, 50, 70, 80%? Well, for most of us, it's more than 60%. And it's what psychology calls mental chatter because we have more than 40 to 70 million thoughts come to ourselves every day, and majority were repeated from the previous day. Now, how will we overcome that? Very quickly, let me show you a stamina reboot session since we have little time. So put your feet down, flat on the ground. Relax your shoulder, drop down. Tilt your chin slightly forward. Close your eyes if you can. And then feel that energy from top of your head with one full breath in, count to 6, and moving through in between your eyebrow, your third eye. Keep breathing, moving through your throat, your heart, your stomach, your navel, pelvis, moving all the down to your feet. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, bring that energy back up from your feet, leg, pelvis, navel, stomach, heart, throat, third eye, go to your head. Do another deep breath, follow your own pace. And while doing that, put one hand, tap the finger to another, slide up and down slowly. Focus only on the texture, temperature. Feel the roughness, the smoothness. Keep moving. When you have other thoughts coming to you, just let it pass. And it's okay. Forgive yourself for anything that's not what you're doing right now, and only focusing on the sensation of touch and your deep breath. All right. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. How do we feel? Are you feeling lighter? Maybe a little more refreshed? Maybe some of the thoughts that you had earlier is not there anymore? Awesome. Can you imagine if you're able to reboot your energy, even just with this one exercise? Where I show most of my clients is find out which sensation they're most connected to. Could be smell, could be visual, could be touch, right? And use those things to continue to reboot your energy. Then you have so much more reserve when you hit the pillow, it's not because you're exhausted. It's because you know when you need to go to sleep and you really feel refreshed when you wake up. And when you're awake, you can function at your peak performance level and not feeling drained by anything. So imagine yourself now. What can you do more? Spend more time with your significant other, kids, be able to finally pick up that book that you meant to read for a long time, be able to actually go to the gym every week. Yeah? Okay. Self-care is now selfish. Let's declare that it's necessity. So how do we win in life to be peak performers? Number one, right? Say no to vagueness. So then we know where our heart desires, creating that end goal, creating internal compass. Second, say no to negative thoughts. So we empower our brain's resilience to build that positive intelligence to keep us going. And then we can say no to putting self-care last. So our hands can carry out everything that we need to do in life without hesitations. So I believe that everyone are empowered to be powerhouses in your career and passionate person in life. You just need to have the right tools. So where do we go from here? Everyone can have a life full of heck yes. And to get there, you have to know your strengths and weaknesses. So take this free 3-minute quiz at sabrinarunbeck.com/assessment. And I will give you a graphic analysis of this assessment as well as send you a voice memo and LinkedIn and Instagram with your interpretations. So you can remove all your roadblockers by recognizing them first. All right, if you want a workshop, the worksheet for today, just send me a message on social media at Sabrina Runbeck as my handle. So what does my version of Heck Yeah Life means? It is, I used to say no and not able to make out to my workout classes. Now I can squat 225 pounds. It's like putting LeBron James across my shoulder and squatting him. I used to rush out of the house in the morning. Now I can truly wake up listening to my energy playlist, get me going on a good note. And also, I used to feel exhausted all the time. Now I can reboot my energy immediately and be able to teach other young professionals to do the same. So may I ask you, what does a life full of heck yes look like for you? Thank you.